How you guys doing today? All right, I've been asked to share about what happened with us this past November when Pastor Roger Hernandez came to do a series with his wife, Kathy. And so I'm going to share that story. Our church, somebody mentioned earlier, our books have 247 members, but only about... that was Daniel. Only about like 80 kind of show up. So this all happened with about 80 members. And first and foremost, I want to say, this is all Holy Spirit, but I am going to share a couple of things that we did in the back end, and hopefully that's valuable to you. I'm Dave Fernandez. Thank you so much. First thing I want to share is this principle here that kind of changed the way we do outreach at our church. Meeting people's immediate tangible needs is the gateway to planting the seed of the gospel. And of course, this is kind of echoing what's been said already here. We did this with Roger Hernandez. That's a picture right there at our church. And something amazing happened. Daniel Hall came and showed us about the Compassion Week. And so we started giving away things that are related to needs. And this is a picture here of us giving away some toys. Maybe not 10,000 toys, but we did what we could. But something amazing happened. Basically, what we did was we kind of flipped the script on making an advertisement that says, hey, come to our week-long prophecy seminar. And instead, we flipped it and we just made an ad that said, hey, we're giving away free toys. And basically, Daniel Hall helped us to think about it this way. And Pastor Bob said it too just now. We are psychologically, everybody's like, what's in it for me? In fact, when we follow any social media accounts or anything, it's providing value to you, so people are going to come. When we flip the script, this is what happened with us. We went from targeted Facebook ads, and we drew people all the way to Bible studies, baptism, and church growth. And this is a picture right here of what it looked like in our church in the hallway, people packed, getting in line. And I figured something out here. Meeting people's needs is not a distraction from the gospel. And I say this because many times I've heard, we don't want to become the church that is the church that gives. And I kind of go like this to that, because would you rather have one or two persons or three that come to one of these flyers that say Bible Prophecy Seminar, or would you rather have your place packed? That's a picture of our church. By the way, I can see about 3 or 4 church members in that picture, and everybody else is a visitor that came. Over 300 people showed up. That's super amazing. And, people come in because of the need, but then when they get there, they experience some of our church members and the warmth and the family, and that's what gets them to stay. But rather than just me telling you about it, I'd love for you to hear from Brittany. She is one of our attendees. Pastor Roger, you're going to like this. I asked her a few questions about her experience, and she's going to tell you how she went from seeing a toy ad, and now she's still coming to our church.
So the reason that we first came to the event was because we saw an ad on Facebook for a toy giveaway. It caught my attention, so I informed another family member, and we rode together to the event. And then at each event, there was another add-on to it, so we would come for the add-on. What made me want to come was that I haven't had a job in a really long time, and my kids were not going to have a Christmas. So I was trying everything in my power to get something for my kids. And a lot of places would allow for my younger daughter, but not for my older daughter. And so my older daughter was not going to have a Christmas, and you guys didn't discriminate on age. And when I explained to you guys about my situation with my daughter being in the hospital, you guys were understanding and caring, which made me want to come back in the future, even if I didn't get anything out of it. So when I did come for Mr. Rogers' sermons, I really enjoyed what he was talking about. It really hit home. So I didn't want to miss anything. Even to see it online, I wanted to be there in person so that I can get the full experience of the message. I decided early on in his message that I wanted to come more regularly on Saturdays for the services, because I just wanted to be, I was drawn to the church I don't know how to explain it. I did start going to the Wednesday nights because it was a add-on to his message. And I continued with my family, my children and I, continue every Wednesday and every Saturday because it's starting to feel like home a little bit.
Amen. Praise God. You know, when Pastor Daniel kind of presented the toy idea, I wasn't completely sold, I'm going to be honest. Because I thought that toys were more of a want instead of a need. But then after listening to Brittany and how a simple toy really was a lifeline for her, you don't know what people are going through. So the point is not so much about the toy, but the point is for us to begin asking the questions, what are the pain points of the community that we're trying to serve? And so you got to ask yourself these questions. What is weighing people down, and how can we ease their burden? And in this case, it was a toy. Meeting needs opens hearts. That's kind of our first key point here. And I want to share that this is not something that is not a marketing technique per se, but it's something that Jesus knew about. People came to Jesus because they were in need, and they went to him so that he could meet their needs. In John 6:26, the Easy English Bible, Jesus says, you are looking for me because you ate the loaves. Jesus understood that people come because of their needs, and that's okay. What happens is that when you meet the needs, then they are more perceptive in receiving the gospel message. So again, just echoing what Daniel Hall said, you know, the Salvation Army might meet a need, but what if we met the need and then say, hey, let's have a conversation? So this is kind of what our ads look like. This is just a sample. The technique behind it is you got to answer that question, what's in it for me? And it's right there in big, bold letters, free turkey giveaway. That's the first thing. And strategically, in smaller font, you have other details like, you know, the time, date, event, and you have right there, it says turkeys will be given after the 90-minute presentation. But here's something super important, and that is the text number that's right there, because when somebody sees something that is free, what happens? They become very skeptical. This has to be a scam. So having the text number right there is crucial, because you can respond right away. And then when you respond right away, you begin to build trust. They say, okay, and then we send them the link, and then they register for that. So the next key point is timely follow-up. This is super important. Prospects are cold, warm, or hot. And you guys know this. Some people are not interested. Some people are kind of interested, but they need nurturing. And then you also have those who are ready to make a decision. So the key is, like the saying goes, eat it while it's hot. You got to act immediately. You got to not even let 1 week pass by. So this is kind of what we did. After the series, we began a Bible study class so that, listen, 300 people came to the series. Out of those 300 people, 100 people marked on the decision cards that they wanted either Bible studies, that they wanted to get baptized, or they wanted to join the church. So we needed to funnel them in to a Bible study. And listen, I don't know about you, but in my church on Wednesday night, prayer nights, only like 3 or 4 people were showing up. So I said, scratch that. Let's make this into a Bible study class. And look at this video of the first day at the Bible study. Hey, everyone. This is day 1. Can you say hello? Hello. All right. All the way. You notice right there, everybody has a little folder. These guys in the circle over there. Next time, we'll fit them in the circle. So that was our Bible study. This is another attendee. He says, I know you send text messages about free giveaways, like gas cards, but I come to the Bible studies because they're just so good. They're simple, easy to understand. Nobody asked him to say, he just raised his hand and shared that. This is Brother Willie Smith. Every time he comes in the room, I say, Will Smith is in the house, and everybody loves that, you know? So listen to Brittany again, and she shares now how she got implemented in the church and what she thinks about the Bible studies.
So as far as the ministries in the church, my oldest daughter is a part of Pathfinders, and
that's how new
something
she is.
that she does every week. and they meet up at other places, and she has partaken in that. But I have not partaken in any of the out ministries or any of the ministries there other than the Saturdays and Wednesdays. I like Wednesday a little bit better because I'm able to speak and like give my opinion and ask questions and get more details if needed, where if I were to just go on a Saturday, you listen and you don't speak, but on Wednesday it's interactive. And I really enjoy that, and I like carrying on, and it's very detailic on the Bible. It makes me think. And then each week when I leave on Wednesdays,
This is cool.
I know nobody knows this, but I go home and I fact check everything, and I kind of dig deeper on the subjects that's been spoken about on Wednesdays. So by Saturday morning, I'm like, I've literally done the whole lesson from Wednesday when we leave until Saturday morning. So I'm continuing in it. So it's helping with my Bible studies. So I have more of a focused thing to study during the week. I know that's weird, but that's true.
That's awesome. She told me that's weird. I'm like, that's amazing. By the way, Roger, I got to tell you a story about that. But our last and final step here is the strategic funneling. This was not done sporadically or by coincidence. It was a purposeful, step-by-step strategy that we did. So step number 1 is the ad impression. So here's the secret. You have to do the ads. And again, we didn't do an ad for a week-long series. We did a daily ad that focused specifically on one day of the series. So rather than telling people, come for the whole week, people don't like commitment nowadays. You just show one ad for one day. And each day of the series has its own ad that focuses on the giveaway. So when people arrived, a lot of people were telling me like, oh, there's something tomorrow, or oh, there was something yesterday, because they didn't have to commit to a whole week. And of course, once they come, they love to stay. But the other key thing, and I would say this, you should invest in a text messaging software, because to funnel them into the registration, after they register, you send them a reminder 24 hours before and a couple hours before. Hey, we're going to start. Did you notice Willie? He said, you send us text to this day. We send text to the Bible studies so that people could come. And then, we do we run the ads for 7 days. So 7 days before the event, and we run it for 7 days on Facebook. Step number 2 is to get them from online to on-site registration. So remember, our prospects are cold, warm, and hot. So when they're cold, we have to make it as easy as possible. So the only thing that we ask for is for name and phone number. That's it. In a case where you have diaper giveaway or something like that, we may say, what size do you need? But that's it, because they're cold. And then they have two ways that they can register. They just click on the link, or they send a text to the phone number, and then we send them the registration. Then once they arrive, here, let me go back. Look at the pictures right there. That's the line that we had formed at our church for people waiting. Once people arrive, trust has been built. They went from, this could be a scam, to like, oh, it's happening here. What's going on? And then they feel the energy, the vibe, and now we get the rest of their information, and we tell them, you need to fill this out so you can get your ticket, so you can get your turkey, so you can be first in line. And we move them down the funnel. And then the next thing is very strategic. Everybody gets a decision card, which serves as a raffle ticket. So the decision card has always the questions, I want to join the church, or I want to get baptized, or I want to visit from the pastor, or I want Bible studies. And it includes the topic of the night. And so you turn those in at the end for a raffle, some giveaways. Pastor Roger, are you giving some Jordans today to E-Huddle? I don't know. Do we have a raffle? But then we get all of those decisions, and again, 100 people marked that they wanted Bible studies, or they wanted they wanted to join the church. So then we do the next thing. After the spirit is all high, and wow, we just had a great presentation. Wow, giveaways, this is amazing. Then we tell them about the next 2 days. So we put a QR code and say, tomorrow we're giving away free coats, and then on the next day we're giving away, whatever. We tell them, and they have to register every single time to keep them moving through the funnel. And then step number 4, this is super important. At the end of the series, after Roger has left, Not that we want to party without you, but we have a social connection event. This is important. And we give a giveaway for this one too so that people could come. And this is where it happens. The people here make connections with the church members in a fun environment. And then all of those people who were interested in Bible studies, we put them into the Bible study course. Now, I want to share one last thing. So in these Bible study course, Rogers mentioned something just now. He said, whatever you do to bring them in, you have to keep doing. So to this day, we do a little raffle at the end, and we always have the decision card, which has those questions. Because of that, 4 people got baptized after Roger came in, but 4 more people were baptized about a month later, and now about 3 or 4 are asking to be baptized because every single Bible study, they're getting that decision card and that option right there. Do I want to join the church? I want to get baptized. And so you want to do that, and then you want to act quickly. If you see it that night, call them the next day so that you can have a conversation. Thank you so much. I hope this is helpful for you.